Hey CEO, we're halfway through June already. Can you believe it? If not, I totally understand because summer can feel like a full-on sprint with a calendar packed to the brim, kids at home, clients needing just one more thing, and your business goals somewhere in the rearview mirror. You started the month hopeful, but if you're already feeling the slide slow into overwhelm, this episode is going to be for you. You don't need to power through, you need to prune. Because fruitfulness in life or business doesn't come from doing more. It comes from making space for what matters more. So, in today's episode, I'm going to dive into why simplifying, not hustling, is your superpower this summer, how to prune your calendar and to do list with bold clarity, even when it all feels important, and what a simplified, fruitful week actually looks like, and how you can design one starting today. If your brain feels busy, your energy is a little scattered, and you're craving both peace and profit this summer, then hit play. It is time to simplify so you can multiply your time. All right, welcome back to episode 2 of our summer CEO series, Making Space for What Matters. Last episode, we talked about why your time still matters this summer, maybe even more than ever. We've unpacked how easy it is to slip into vacation mode and drift through the season without a clear plan. But without intention, that summer blur can steal both your fruitfulness and your fun. So, we looked at how unchecked busyness, lack of structure, or putting everything and everyone else first is going to quietly sabotage the very things you say matter most: your faith, your family, your rest, and your business goals. And we explored how just a few intentional shifts in how you view your time and a simple summer schedule, system, and strategy to use that time can create a summer rhythm that fuels both your life and your business. So, if you've ever reached the end of August wondering where the time went and why you're so worn out, that episode was your wake-up call. And this one, well, this is your next step forward. Because today, we're going deeper into simplifying in order to multiply your time. Because summer's temptations to say yes to everything and do everything are real. But saying yes to the wrong things actually steals space from what you really want to grow. So, why is simplifying actually your superpower this summer? Well, most of us carry a load of should do's around all the time, right? But summer has a way of multiplying them. And not because they're all bad things. In fact, most of them are actually really good. But too much of a good thing can still lead to overload. You know the drill. The calendar fills up with every barbecue, pool party, church picnic, VBS, family reunion. Clients are asking for one more thing before they head out on vacation. Your kids are home, the fridge is constantly empty, and depending on their age, you may be juggling snacks, screen time, and sibling squabbles. And in the meantime, you're just trying to keep your business from stalling out over the summer slump, while also hoping to finally take a breath. But without a clear plan, summer can become one long list of reactive yeses. And before you know it, your time is maxed out. That energy is drained, and the things that matter most are starting to get the leftovers. But here's the truth: simplifying isn't about doing less because you're lazy, it's about intentional stewardship. It's about pruning back what's extra so the things that God has called you to can actually bear real fruit. Because when you simplify, you multiply your peace, your presence, your productivity, and your profitability. This is what makes simplifying your superpower this summer, because it's going to protect both your margin and your mission in both life and business. But to be honest, for a long time, I thought my superpower was multitasking, maximizing every minute, doing all the things, and working harder to keep up. But the truth, it wasn't my superpower. It was my kryptonite because it was weakening my focus and my presence. Every summer, I felt pulled in 10 directions, saying yes to every invitation that came, responding to every DM or client request that came in, trying to be an ever present mom and the always available CEO. I had high hopes going into the season, just like you. Plans to grow my business, to be more present with my family, and even squeeze in some rest. But by the end of June, I was already exhausted, overwhelmed, and barely moving forward on my goals, and feeling really guilty about it. Because, once again, I couldn't keep up or follow through. At first, I just want to throw up my hands and say, maybe just summer just isn't the time for business. I will regroup in the fall. But deep down, I knew that wasn't the answer. Wasn't time to quit. It was time to prune. So I sat down, looked at everything on my plate, and got really honest. That one more small thing I kept saying yes to, a networking event here, a collaboration there, another strategy I should try or a training I should take, it all added up. And so did the stress. I was burning the candle at both ends, and I was burning out. And even after a full night's rest, my body felt heavy and my mind was foggy. And it felt like pushing through like I always had just wasn't working anymore. So I did something different. I listed everything out and I began doing some ruthless pruning. I said no to the projects and people that didn't align with my mission. I built in some no screen blocks for deep focused work. And I recommitted to what God had actually called me to prioritize this season. And by July, I felt calmer, clearer, more productive. I was showing up better in my business and my home, and my results actually reflected that shift. You see, simplifying didn't slow me down. It actually made space for the right things to grow and for me to breathe. But that shift didn't happen by accident. It came through intentional pruning, cutting back the extras so I could cultivate what truly mattered. And that's not just a productivity principle, it's a biblical one. So let's talk about the spiritual and practical power of pruning and why it's essential if you want to bear real fruit this summer in your life and in your business. If simplifying is your superpower, then pruning is actually how you activate it. In John 15:2, Jesus says, "The vine dresser cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit. While every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes so that it will be even more fruitful." I know that verse can be a little uncomfortable at first because, well, pruning hurts. It means letting go, cutting back, or even saying no to things you once said yes to. But here's what you often forget: pruning isn't punishment, it's actually preparation. And God's pruning, just like that vine dresser, is intentional because he knows it's what's going to produce the most fruit. You see, the vine dresser can see what the vine can't, that there are things that are holding us back. And the branches that look full but aren't bearing lasting fruit are really just weighing us down. And even the healthy areas may need some trimming in order to get stronger. In your business and your life, pruning might look like saying no to client work that pays the bills but pulls you away from your real mission, or pressing pause on that course you signed up for but haven't touched and asking if now is really the time, or letting go of a program or a product you built in the past season that no longer aligns with your current vision, or reducing your time on social media so you can be fully present in your work and with your people, or choosing just fewer commitments in general so your schedule can finally have room to breathe. Think of your calendar like a garden. If it's overplanted with too many activities, opportunities, and obligations, even good ones, your priorities don't have room to take root. Your vision gets crowded out by urgent requests. Your impact gets tangled in the distractions. Your joy and peace, well, they're choked out by overwhelm. And chances are there are a lot of weeds that start growing, right? But pruning creates margin, and it gives space for the best things to grow deep and strong. So you're to feel peace instead of pressure, and focus instead of frenzy, and clarity instead of chaos, and profit instead of just checking boxes productivity. This, my friend, is time stewardship in action. You can't do everything and expect fruitfulness. You have to make room for what matters most. Because otherwise, your time gets scattered, distracted, or diluted, and your summer becomes busy, but not fruitful. Productive, maybe, but not truly profitable in the ways that matter. So, what can go? I know this is the number one question that women come to me and say, Lissa, everything feels important. So, it's really key after you embrace the spiritual and practical power of pruning that our next question become, okay, what do I actually cut out? Because again, when everything feels urgent or important, it can be hard to know what to cut back. But here is a simple starting point. Look at what is actually bearing fruit and what is just taking up space and time. Less is truly more when what's on your plate directly supports the two essential tasks of any business owner. Did you know there are really only two things that you should be focusing on as a business owner? I'm going to simplify everything for you right now. Number one, acquiring new clients or customers. And number two, serving your existing clients or customers. That's it. If a task isn't fueling one of those two areas or building long-term capacity for them, it's probably a distraction dressed up as a duty. But so often we let those essential tasks get buried under all the other things we think we should do. So here are some common time weeds that quietly crowd out your fruitfulness. If you're taking notes, Here are 10 non-essential and distracting tasks that can go or be pruned back. Are you ready? Number one, endless content creation without a client-focused strategy and actually leading them towards taking that next step. Number two, posting daily just to stay visible instead of connecting it to a clear offer. Number three, prettying up your brand. I know those fonts, those colors, those layouts, they're fun to play with, but they don't always drive results. Number four, over planning or perfectionism that keeps you from launching that thing. Number five, chasing trends or new platforms with no aligned purpose. Number six, excess admin tasks that could be batched or delegated instead. Number seven, passive learning instead of actually implementing what you already know. Number eight, networking without follow up, just for the sake of showing up. Number nine, DIYing everything instead of outsourcing those time draining tasks. And number 10, over delivering to prove your value instead of just trusting your offer. You see, even unstructured or reactive time, saying yes to every meeting, checking emails all day, or starting tasks without clarity of how they tie into those two essentials is going to keep you spinning your wheels instead of sowing seeds that actually grow and bear fruit. So here is your pruning question. Is this helping me get or serve a client? Or is it just keeping me busy and taking up space and time? Because when your schedule, your systems, and your strategy are aligned with these tasks that matter most, your time becomes more focused, your work becomes more fruitful, and your summer becomes more profitable in every sense of the word. So, are you ready to stop spinning your wheels and start simplifying? Here is a quick but powerful audit that you can do right now to start pruning the overload and making room for real fruit to grow. So, grab a sheet of paper or open your notes or a doc and make two columns, one for life and one for business. Then, list out every current commitment, task, project, and obligation that you've said yes to for the summer. And then, prayerfully ask yourself, why is this on my list in the first place? Did God call me to this, or am I carrying it out of guilt, fear, or pressure to meet someone else's expectations? Two, what's truly bearing fruit in my life and business? Is this really leading to growth, connection, income, or impact? Number three, what's draining me without a real return? You see, even if it looks good on the outside, is it silently costing me peace, presence, or progress? Number four, what can I delay, delegate, or delete? And just as importantly, what brings true delight? Because it aligns with what God has for me in this season. And number five, when I look back on August 31st, what will I be glad that I did? And what will I regret if I keep saying yes to what doesn't matter most? Girl, here's where you have to be honest, be bold, and be willing to let some things go. Because you don't need more time, you just need less cluttering up your time. And pruning is how you make that happen. So now that you've seen the power of pruning and the space it creates, here is your next step to actually doing it. I want to announce I've just released a brand new self-paced tool called the Ideal Week, designed to help you walk through what matters most in this season and how to make space for it all in your week without feeling pulled in a dozen directions or spinning your wheels trying to do it all. The Ideal Week is your grab and go planning system to get clear on your priorities, to map out a simple weekly rhythm, and to align your time with the life and business that God is calling you to build this summer. Girl, it's time to stop reacting to whatever comes your way and start intentionally designing your days and week around what bears the most fruit, including time to take care of you. So, if you want to check out this brand new resource, you can head over to redeemhertime.com/week or click the link in the show notes. But I just want to say, that if you know you want extra help simplifying and staying accountable to get the schedules, the systems, and the strategies in place and really see the multiplication happen on your time, SummerTIME CEO is still open, but not for long. This Done With You coaching experience is going to help you simplify your schedule so you're out of the office by 2 p.m., to set up 60-minute workflows that lead to consistent sales and get that big project done by the end of summer. Because by building out a simple summer plan, and those schedules, systems, and strategies to focus your time on what matters most, you are going to have space for growth and enjoyment. So I will link I will link in the show notes to apply before the last spots are gone and before summer is too. Remember, simplifying isn't about shrinking your summer. It's about making room for both, for fruitfulness, for rest, for the life and business that God actually called you to. So start pruning. Let's plan with purpose and make this summer one where you get to choose what grows.